All these rejections from the middle Bollinger Band.
Resistance we're going to need.
If you actually see here, we get a
And we'll look for a healthy higher
I
low.
would not
don't have
be
the
convinced
pullback
to
to
enter a long trade.
Oh, hey there, crypto friends. Checking in on the names from yesterday. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, BCH, SV, BCH, ABC. Living that robe life. I've actually had a couple dinner parties the last month where everybody wears robes. It's the greatest thing ever. So Bitcoin and everybody was really tight on the 4-hour time frame. We stayed in that channel that we drew in the last video for quite some time. We were in there for multiple days, and it ended up being a great entry where I said, you know, the only bearish position, that the only trade for the bears at that point was top fishing the lower high, and that ended up being the play as we broke bearish. Obviously, if we broke bullish, it would have been a stop out for a small loss, but breaking bearish and not breaking that resistance ended up with really nice follow through. Look at the rejections of where we pulled back from each lower high. It's the exponential resistance on the 4-hour time frame each time. We're pulling back or down at the low of this move. No bottom has been found just yet, and the next support level is down at 34.36. So this gives us information. This tells us we're clearly not done consolidating on the daily. We have not established our daily high or low at this point, and this is increasing the odds of the bears, plain and simple. The odds now that we see continuation on the daily time frame and confirm the daily trend change are less likely. We need the higher low and the bull break of 42.39 in order to change that daily trend. And here we are falling back into that middle of the move. So we went from essentially 31.30 up to 42.30. So an $1,100 move. And giving that back, let's see, it's 36. We've already given back more than half of that move. So obviously the bulls want to hold on better than this, and it's not an ideal scenario. We could be heading back down towards the lows. I don't think we're just going to head straight down towards those lows. We could see a bounce, but any bounce on the daily at this point, we're just likely to form a lower high compared to our top of 42.39. So this move on the 4-hour time frame makes the bears a lot more confident and comfortable with this next leg down on high bear volume that we saw. So on the hourly time frame, you can see things got extremely tight. You can see all that bear volume and the push down, and we knew a move was imminent. The volume started to pick up before the ranges broke, and that clear bear break sealed the deal in terms of short-term action. Ethereum, significant pullback, daily inside bar break occurred at 123.45. That's a clear signal that at this point has resulted in about 5% plus of downside. The 4-hour time frame, again, the lower high was the play for the bears. If waiting on a bear break, we had a bit of a heads up here as the Ethereum bear break on the 4-hour time frame occurred at 123.54 here, this little low, and that happened 4 candlesticks ago. And Bitcoin 4 candlesticks ago had not broken any support yet. So Ethereum had a bearish signal earlier, then it broke 122.15. All of those breaks resulting to quick gains for those bears. 105.30 is the next support level. And looking at the consolidation on Ethereum, much more space to work with. If Bitcoin looked like this chart, we'd say we're still pulling back, no red flags at this point. But because Bitcoin has red flags, that results in some red flags for everybody else as well due to correlations. So bear break of the inside bar, daily high or low has not been established yet, and the short-term control is definitely with the bears. On the 4-hour time frame, anything under 131.94 is just a lower high, and all we've seen since the top is lower highs on the 4-hour time frame with no sign of any kind of trend changes, with no indication that the daily high or low has been established yet. Again, just a reminder, to establish the daily high or lows, the 4-hour trends needs to change, and that did not happen on this pullback. That's why we were watching that 4-hour channel so closely. Litecoin, again, look how much we pulled back at this point. So not anticipating to go straight to the low of 22.17. We will see a bounce, in my opinion, on the daily time frame, but it's just going to give us a lower high. So the 4-hour time frame here on Litecoin, bear break, and Litecoin, remember, already gave us the bear break. It was weaker than other names because it didn't have an equilibrium. Just lower highs and lower lows with continuation. We're oversold right now on the hourly time frame, so we are expecting a short-term bounce in these names, but we have the hourly exponential resistance to be watching, and we're just looking for hourly lower highs on these bounce attempts. So again, bears in complete control. Some very overextended moves, 15-minute RSI under 20, hourly RSI on Bitcoin down at 24. On Litecoin, that hourly RSI is down at 23. So again, short-term bounces likely. By the time this video updates and uploads, we'll probably just be starting that bounce but just look for an hourly lower high and watch those hourly exponential resistances. XRP on the daily, significant pullback, breaking support. There's a lot of people out there who are XRP fundamentalists. They love the fundamentals. They think that that's the future. But man, they better see that correlation break with Bitcoin, because time and time again, we're just getting dragged down with the space. It doesn't matter if you like this individual coin or any individual coin, because if those correlations are there, there's nothing you can do about that. And that's the case with the stock market. The stock market has been dumping right now, one of the biggest dumps we've seen in a very long time. It doesn't matter what the individual fundamentals are of any company, Apple or a bank like Bank of America or a Canadian marijuana stock. It doesn't matter. Everything pulls back with the S&P 500 and the broader markets. The correlations are just there. That's the way that trading goes, and that's the way that algos and bots are used in these new age high-speed markets. So unless we see significant breaks of correlation, and at this stage in the cryptocurrency game with charts and everything that we're looking at, the number one thing I'm looking for is who is going to break the correlation to Bitcoin. And we see correlations break for temporary periods time and time again, but never for a significant amount of time. And that's going to be very notable for me, because until that happens, I don't care what any individual fundamental is, because it's going to be reliant on what Bitcoin is doing. So XRP on the 4-hour time frame, lower highs and lower lows. The last clear lower high is 39,391. And 378 was a little double top here, but bears in full control. Next support level is 355. That broke. 353 broke. So breaking a couple key support levels, and the next level we're looking at is down at 331. So bears in control. The 4-hour RSI is almost oversold on Ripple. Checking in on Bitcoin, almost oversold there as well. And here's potentially the start of the oversold bounce. But XRP, same scenario as everybody else, pulling back significantly on the daily. When we do bounce on the daily, we're just looking for a lower high to form. BCH SV, whenever I see a pattern like this, lower highs every day in a row for 6 days. That's a pattern I make note of, because when that pattern breaks, that's when we're going to anticipate the higher low. So we have the low of the pullback, the high of the bounce. Now we're looking for a higher low to form. And rather than trying to nail the bottom, we can be watching for a break of that pattern of a lower high every single day. The 4-hour time frame has to change the trend as well. Just lower highs rejecting from exponential resistance on the verge of oversold, and clear bear break was $89. And here we are about $8 or 8%, 9% below that 4-hour higher low bear break. BCH ABC, a little bit different, because we did break that lower high pattern, but certainly not immune to the correlation with everybody else. Bear break here was at 161. Here we are down at 146. So about a 10% pullback on that bear break. Just a 4-hour lower high and lower low pattern. And this is essentially what a head and shoulders pattern is. When you have the left shoulder, the head, that shows us higher lows and higher highs. The right shoulder is the lower high. The neckline breaking is the lower low. That's a trend change. That's why the head and shoulders pattern is so popular. It's just a way to visualize trends changing. Higher lows and higher highs. Lower high for the right shoulder. Break of the neckline is the confirmation of the pattern. And there's the follow through on that bear break. So short-term oversold bounce is anticipated. Just looking for hourly lower highs, hourly exponential resistance, and 4-hour exponential resistance on watch. Change the 4-hour trend, and we're going to be looking for a daily bounce, but that daily bounce is likely to just result in lower highs. So I appreciate you all watching. We'll continue to check in through the weekend, and I hope you all continue to do those good things out there. See you soon.